So this one is a little less sales strategy and a little more life strategy, but I felt like it was important, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on here. The other day, my wife and I are having a conversation about what we want to do, our goals in life. And definitely when we talk about those things, travel is on the list. We want to be able to do more. But it feels like we're not prioritizing that. It feels like we're always making excuses. We'll look at the budget for the month and say, oh, we spent a lot of money eating out and doing special stuff, so that jaunt down to Florida seems like it's a little too risky in our budget this month. Or we might say something like, you know what, we really want to go with the family, so why don't we wait until everybody can be involved? And unfortunately, that just never happens. So we're not prioritizing our pleasure the right way. So I put some thought into it, and here's what I came up with. So it's strange because I don't do this in my work life. If I have something that I have to do for work, generally speaking, it goes on the calendar and it gets done. It's even small things. The other day I wanted to make it to the gun range and I found that about 3 or 3:30 I was still doing something and I didn't prioritize the time, and I got caught up in something for my work, and I realized that quite honestly, pretty quickly, it was too late to go and I hadn't prioritized it. But if this had been something for my work, I would have closed down early and I probably would have gotten to location earlier so that I could get the best seats. I would have prioritized it. I would have put it in my calendar. It would have been done. But I wasn't giving the same, and I'm not now giving the same priority to my pleasure, if that makes sense. So that's the problem. But what's the solution? And I'm going to be honest, this is a work in progress, but here are some of the ideas that I have. I have 3 ideas. Number 1, put it in your calendar. I'm one of those guys that if it's in my calendar, I review the calendar all the time and I get it done. But I am not one of those guys who schedules 24 hours of a day in his calendar. But my work events are definitely on the calendar and they definitely get finished. So I'm going to have to start putting my pleasure pieces that I want to get done on the calendar. So if I added that gun range visit to the calendar, I almost guarantee you it would have gotten done because I would have prioritized it. So the first step is to put things on your calendar that you know you want to get done. Strategy number 2, get some buy-in. This can be as easy as buying the plane tickets early, or getting the ticket to the event, or maybe even just getting someone's hopes up, as in, I'm going to be there at this time. In sales, we call this the puppy method. So the thought process is that you give the person the puppy and say, take it home for the night. And if you don't like it, you can always bring it back tomorrow. The reality of it is that they're never going to bring a puppy back the next morning. They're always going to have to keep it. And that's the thought process. Get some buy-in for yourself. Make it to where you really can't back out. And strategy number 3 is to tell someone about it. This is twofold. Number 1, have you ever told somebody what your plan was and then said, oh man, now that I'm saying that out loud, this seems like a really crappy idea? Or maybe the exact opposite is true. Just by simply saying it out loud, the person's like, that's $1 million idea. This is going to be awesome. So you're sort of getting proof of concept in your own ideas. The second option that this gives to you is that you've made a promise. You've said it out loud. Now you're going to have to hold yourself accountable. So at this case, you might tell somebody, oh, in June, I'm going to be traveling. I got to go to Las Vegas and then on to LA for a couple of weeks. And the reality of it is that now you've said it out loud. There's a social expectation for you to make good on what you're already saying. So those are 3 ideas that I had on how to prioritize pleasure a little bit better. I really hope it helped, and thank you very much for watching.